Good morning.
I'm curious what the bendy will be like this
Yeah,
week.
we'll try to keep the energy up.
Well, we'll do our best. Okay. Sweet. Here we go.
Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, we're trying to keep the energy up on with the Bindi on what is today? Wednesday. Today's a Wednesday. We got fireworks.
Trying to keep the energy up.
Trying to keep the energy up. Trying to brighten the mood. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I am Marcus Grant. He is Parker Bell. Not a great Tuesday for the Dodgers in a lot of respects. So we will get to it in just a bit. But first, want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guest time, making things a little bit more pleasant wherever you are traveling to or from. People Mover Train coming early next year to hopefully help out in that endeavor as well. You can go to flylax.com/transforming-LAX. So, Parker, do we start with the bad news on the field or the bad news off the field? Where would you prefer to begin?
Let's get these Sacramento A's out of the way. I think that maybe we jinxed ourselves, Marcus.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we said we don't know any of these guys came up and bit us in the ass. What, Jacob Wilson, 4 for 5, pair of 2-run homers. I mean, some of these names that we were mentioning, we don't know. They bit us in the ass.
Yeah, I was having that exact same thought midway through the game last night. The Dodgers lose 11-1. As you mentioned, Jacob Wilson turned out to be a fence wrecker, 4 for 5. Maybe could have been 5 for 5 even. His last at bat, they credited Kike Hernandez with an error instead of it being maybe an infield single for Wilson. Either way, it was a hell of a night for him. The 4 hits, you mentioned the two-run home runs. I put in our group text last night that maybe, just maybe, the Dodgers should stop pitching to LA natives who come back to visit because
that's a good point.
It was Jacob Wilson last night from Thousand Oaks. Before that, it was Pete Crow Armstrong who has torched the Dodgers. I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but for whatever reason, these guys from Southern California tend to show out when they come back home and play the Dodgers. I don't have a real explanation for it.
Yeah, when people see LA, they just want to perform, and when it's their home, especially, then they perform even higher.
Yeah, that was absolutely the case. So, Wilson, kind of the big story of the night. They also got big games. Brent Rooker had a couple of hits. Lawrence Butler drove in a couple of runs. Miguel Andujar, J.J. Bleday, Nick Kurtz hit his first home run of the year last night. So the A's got production from up and down the lineup. And as you mentioned, yesterday we said we didn't know a lot of these names. We learned a lot of them last night. And it's an A's team that has shown that they can hit the baseball. And then throw in the fact that Jeffrey Springs just went out and shut the Dodgers down. I mean, 7 innings, gave up 1 run on 6 hits, kind of kept guys off balance, didn't really panic when he had guys in scoring position. I mean, credit the A's last night, Parker. They played a complete game.
Yeah, got to give credit when the team plays well. Excuse me. There we are. Still lingering. Boys, we've been lingering for years, it feels like, at this point. But how much do we want to talk about, Knack and that performance on the other end?
Yeah.
So, of course, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, I think it was, all earned. He did have 8 Ks, which was interesting. I know that he was hitting the strike zone, but they were finding the ball. So what did you see from Knack, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of in and out of the strike zone a little bit. I think the A's were just really aggressive. And I think they knew that Knack was going to try and throw strikes and try to get ahead in the count. And they went up there hacking. I mean, when they scored those runs, a couple of those runs in the 5th inning, or actually I think it was the 3rd inning, they jumped on him quick, just early in the count, swinging big. It was, I think, Wilson with I can't remember who hit the double, but then Wilson hits the first of his 2 home runs. I guess Kurtz with the double, and then Wilson with the home run. That happened just like on back-to-back pitches, if I have it right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he did get a lot of swing and miss. You mentioned he had the 8 strikeouts in the ball game, but I think the A's came in with a plan that they were going to attack early. In fact, I know they were one of the things they said on the broadcast about Wilson. He doesn't tend to wait around in the batter's box. That I think he played 20 some odd games this year before he got to his first 3-ball count. So you have to work really hard to walk a guy like that. And last night it paid off for the A's. Um, you know, Landon Knack, I mean, he's doing what is asked of him, but right now the performances have been sort of up and down for him this year. But I don't see him really going anywhere at this point, Parker, just because the Dodgers need pitching. They need starters, they need pitching, they need innings. And so I don't know if necessarily Knack, I don't think he's the answer, but I also don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, there you go. Our perfect segue. One goes down and one has to stay. So while the chat may be out on Knack at the moment, Jasmeet saying, told you all Knack wasn't it. We got Craig saying you got the good and bad of Knack. It's a roller coaster. One goes down, and it's Roki Sasaki. So the star rookie, one of the top prospects in the game, of course, lands on the IL, Marcus, with shoulder impingement. We're talking about this in the chat kind of all day, and not to give away too much of our chat, but you almost called it that yesterday was the day he officially becomes a Dodger.
Yeah.
And is this the way that Dodger pitchers are now initiated to the team?
It seems that way, right? Like you're not really a Dodger pitcher until you make a stint on the IL. I see Thomas Vizek in the chat saying, why would a pitcher come to the Dodgers if they know they're going to get hurt and be prevented pitching deep into games? I mean, my answer to that is because they have a chance to win. And I get it. Guys want to go out there and try to go 7-8 innings, try to get deep into ball games, and I'm sure there is some of that even with the Dodger staff. I do think the opportunity to win, the chance to win a World Series sort of trumps something like that. It's frustrating, right? I mean, and it kind of goes back to what we had seen from Sasaki over the last few starts in that, early in the season, that start in Japan, he was touching the upper 90s, getting close to 100. Actually, I think he hit 100 a couple times in that start. The velocity, the velocity had dropped down into the mid to low 90s to the point that, there was a lot of conversation, including our own Steve Mason, wondering whether or not Sasaki should go down to AAA to sort of work things out. It seems as though we have found at least what part of the issue is that this is a shoulder issue. I mean, I'm frustrated. I know fans are frustrated. I'm sure the team is frustrated. I don't have any answers, Parker, other than they just got to keep finding arms. But it is frustrating. Just it seems like every day there's a new piece of bad news when it comes to the pitching staff.
Yeah, I think frustrating is the best way to put it. But it's a weird one with Sasaki, just knowing that going into the season, he famously had the homework assignment for teams like help me get back to my original velocity that he was playing with in Japan. And I mean, that in itself was kind of a sign that we're going to be dealing with that this year. But we know that if any team is going to be able to do it, then it's the Dodgers. So I get that people are going to be worried, but we're seeing guys get back to form. We're seeing Gonsolin starting to sneak up in that velocity as well after, the multiple surgeries he's had. So it's definitely doable. I don't want to, knock on wood. I'm not trying to put any bad voodoo out there that Sasaki's going to need surgery. Of course not. But the whole point about the training staff in the chat with Thomas Vizek, I think that's twofold. Like that's just baseball nowadays. I know we've mentioned that in this show a few times, and Sasaki's no timetable at the moment, according to Doc, and that could be a little worrisome. But I'm still optimistic on the young pitcher.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think for Sasaki overall, long term, I definitely am still optimistic. I mean, there have been a couple of rough starts, but I've definitely seen promise. I understand what it is the Dodgers see in him, so that part certainly. I just, it's frustrating because you've seen this team. I mean, it's mid-May, and how many guys have been on the injured list? I mean, you look around and Snell is out for who knows how long. Glass now is out, hopefully coming back soon. They've lost Phillips again. Trinan is still out. It's just there's just so many things. It just feels like they can't get everybody together all at the same time. And that's not even to mention like on the hitting side, still waiting on Tommy Edman, Still waiting on updates for Teoscar Hernandez. It is frustrating, but then again, you look up and they are half a game out of the best record in baseball. They are, they're still half a game up on the Padres for first place in the National League West, though. So for everything that is frustrating, this team still finds ways to win ball games, and that part is good. So, I guess we should also, highlight the good, though, right? That Clayton Kershaw looks like he's going to be back
Exactly.
on
Yeah,
Saturday, I believe it is when he's coming back.
Saturday versus the Halos.
Yep,
So
yep.
excited for that one. I was hoping to get out there, but it's looking like maybe Sunday we'll get out to a Dodgers game and see the Freeway Series. But yeah, Kershaw returning. What are we going to expect? I think the obvious. We're not going to get more than 5 innings.
Right.
We're going to get bunched innings from Kershaw, perhaps an opener for him. I'm not sure how really they're going to approach it just yet, but we're seeing him Saturday. He's going to start. So I'm excited. I think that you just mentioned it a few minutes ago. We need arms.
Yeah.
And as arms go down, bring some arms up. And the offense has been potent enough to where they're going to be a half game above in the best, near the best game or best record in the game. So Kershaw back, super exciting. And then who else? We're going to be seeing some other arms come back pretty soon as well. I know that Kopech's been having a few assignments down there, some rough ones, but still positive signs.
Right. Yeah, no, I think at this point, it's just about getting guys working again and getting them back on the major league roster. A couple of days ago, Kopech had a scoreless inning in OKC, had a couple of strikeouts there. It's been up and down. I mean, he'd had an outing where he walked 5 guys. He had one where he had 2 strikeouts and no runs. So it definitely feels like a work in progress with Kopech, but I think the big news, the positive news, is that he is sort of working his way back at this point. As for Kershaw, I'm also we're all keeping watch, right? He is 32 strikeouts away from 3,000 in his career. So something to kind of keep an eye on. But I'm with you. I think we're talking 5 innings for Kershaw in this start. I think, try to keep the pitch count, I would guess around 75, 80 or so. And just see what you can get out of him. You can get a couple turns through the lineup. That would be great. I do have a question. Like, we talk about the bullpen and how much they're getting used and that sort of thing. Is there a point that we think Dave Roberts is a little too cautious with guys? That they seem so intent on not having guys throw more than 80, 85 pitches. Like, is he too cautious with some of these guys? And maybe that's some of the reason this bullpen is getting overused right now.
Well, it's tough because you have 2 sides to it, where he's also stating that the current bullpen usage is absolutely not sustainable. So you would have to think, okay, then let some of your guys go deeper. Very tough, slippery slope there for the Dodgers. I mean, granted, it's been working, but yeah, Marcus, this is an interesting one that as we near like the All-Star break, gonna have to see where those arms are at, and you're not just gonna start seeing some of these pitchers that we have on the IL, but you might start seeing some quick little ghost fantasy IL stints for those bullpen arms as well. Guys like Tanner Scott, who are just absolutely being used like a rented mule.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the thing. I mean, that's the thing the Dodgers have been good at over the years, is these phantom IL stints and being able to churn the pitching staff. The problem is this year they haven't been phantom stints. They've been real stints on the IL. Like, you really had guys missing. I mean, the fact that Blake Snell only made 2 starts and got hurt. The fact that, Glass now had 3 real issues in a row, and then he goes on the IL. It's a little bit frustrating at this point. So we'll see. Let's go back and talk some positive things, though, from last night. I mean, I know it was mostly bad, losing 11-1, never great. But let's talk Michael Conforto. I mean, I wish Greg were here so he could join in the fun. But Michael Conforto, I said last night he had a triple double, 3 for 4, 3 doubles. He's had 3 games in a row with a hit, with 2 games in a row with multiple hits. Again, I'm not ready to declare that Michael Conforto is fixed, but it's nice to see a guy who was struggling so badly start to contribute to this lineup.
Yeah, small wins can lead to big victories. I think the at bats that we're seeing have been getting better and better. So I'm hoping that this is the spark. Listen, Greg, if you're listening, we know that the villain arc only exists for the character redemption, for the redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
And is this the moment? Because the Dodgers, while they're waiting for Edman, while they're waiting for Teoscar, they need offensive production. Freddie's not going to have a great night every night. Law of averages. Shohei's not going to be able to hit a home run every single night. So we're going to need Conforto to start stepping it up. And he has, but it's funny because he genuinely looks confused doing the celebration because he has not had a lot of moments to do it this year.
It's funny. I was thinking that I was thinking that actually with Chris Taylor, who had a double in, I think it was his first at bat. Yeah, and he roped one down the left field line into the corner. He gets a double, and yeah, he looked sort of unsure, like doing the hand wave and then the eye thing.
Like,
I was like,
was it
right? He's like, I did it right, right? Because I'm like, yeah, he isn't. Chris Taylor has been on base a ton this year. So, yeah, I did notice that he's not. These guys aren't. Like Shohei, Freddie, those guys are just used to doing it. Because they're on base all the time. Some of the other guys maybe not so much. But good to see Conforto contributing. Kind of starting to get hot at the bottom of the lineup because that's just one more bat that the Dodgers can have and go to at this point. Today, game 2 of the series between the Dodgers and the West Sacramento Athletics, and it is Yama Day. I know last week when I said that, I said it was hashtag Yoshi Day, and things did not go well for Yamamoto against the Diamondbacks. So I'm not going to make any big, bold proclamations, Parker. I'm just going to say I hope, I believe, I have faith that Yamamoto can bounce back from a rough start last time out. But, we saw last night the A's can hit, so this is not going to be a walkover, I don't believe.
Yep. I hope. I am expecting. Yeah, I'm expecting Yamamoto to just go out there and deal. I think that he's one of those guys who just has that competitive edge where after a rough start, the next start is usually a really, really good one. And when the Dodgers lose 11-1, also there's some pride in that. And Yoshinobu's been the one to kind of be the stopper. When certain series are going wrong, you can throw him out there and change the momentum. So I think that Yoshi's going to have a good one. I mean, listen, 4-3 on the year is not. It's really not what is on paper. Like what is on paper is not showing what's on the field.
Right.
We need run support for Yamamoto. It's been really tough. And if last night's an indicator of anything, then it'll be another tough one. But you just need a few hits and listen, maybe another triple double from Conforto, driving some runs so Yamamoto can get some support there.
Well, Abs will take another 3 doubles from Michael Conforto if that's what happens. And yeah, it is weird, right? When you look at Yamamoto's record, you see the 4-3, but you also see a 1.8 ERA. And that game against the Diamondbacks, maybe the only one where you look at and you're like, that game was actually bad, right? He gave up the grand slam in the 4th, and he gave up another home run the following inning. That felt like the only start where you could just say, hey, man, it just wasn't happening. So hopefully he's able to bounce back against a good hitting A's team. His opponent tonight, Gunnar Hoagland, who a quick Google search tells me he's the number 14 prospect in the organization, just called up a couple of weeks ago, has made 2 starts so far this season. One of them was against the Marlins, where he went 6 innings, gave up 1 run on 6 hits. The other against the Seattle Mariners, who actually are playing really well this year. Went 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. So 10 strikeouts in his 2 starts this year, just 1 walk. So Hoagland, pretty good start to his major league career. But I dare say that in 3 starts, this is going to be the best offense that he faces. So, I don't know your thoughts, your hopes on whether or not the Dodgers can get something going against the guy that they, probably don't know a whole lot about right now.
Well, and yeah, and that part can be tough, when you don't have a lot of film on the kid. But I think that Dodgers staff and everybody's going to do a great job. I mean, listen, they're 15-4 at home, the Dodgers, so they have they have an advantage certainly. And I mean, when the Dodgers are out here and the offense is going, there's not much you can do to stop it. And I feel bad for the young kid because if Shohei starts it off and the offense follows suit, it could be a short night for the young pitcher, Mr. Yeah, very cool
Hoagland,
name,
yeah.
by the way. Gunnar
Yeah.
Hoagland.
Gunnar Hoagland, very cool name for sure. So, I mean, we'll see right-hander. So that also means that likely we will see Max Muncy back in the lineup. I know we didn't see Muncy last night because a left-hander was starting. I assume that's partly why you had Chris Taylor in center field as opposed to James Outman. So with a righty on the mound, I would expect Muncy's back in the lineup. We may see Outman back in center field as well. So we'll see how it goes. We may see Ha-Seong Kim also too, because he did not start. He ended up getting a pinch hit appearance late in the ball game, but with a lefty on the mound, Dave Roberts made the decision not to start Ha-Seong Kim. So I would think he's going to get an opportunity to start in this one as well. Roy Estrada bringing up the fact Miguel Rojas struggled last night 3 times with Conforto in scoring position and 3 times did not drive in a run. So hopefully that turns around tonight at Dodger Stadium. 7:10 first pitch is the scheduled time. So Yamamoto trying to bounce back and try to get the Dodgers off the mat after a bad loss last night. But anyway, that's a good spot for us to take a little bit of a break for today. You got any more fireworks for us, Parker? Can we do that again?
Can I get that? Oh wait, these are lasers.
That was lasers.
I'm all over the place. I think it was like this. Fireworks.
There it is. Fireworks. That's cool.
As long as I'm not doing them
does that work for me too? Or is that just on your laptop? I have no idea.
I don't know.
No, I guess
as long as I'm not doing it during Bark at the Park night.
Right.
Come on, Nationals.
Right. There it is. Anyway, stick around. Travis and DeMarco coming up here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to the folks at LAX for helping us put this together. Thanks to you in the chat for hanging out with us. And we always appreciate your participation and that sort of thing. So Jasmine, why don't they play Kike in center with Kim at second? Good question. I don't know. Why they keep wanting to put Kim in center field is sort of a mystery to me. But yeah. I don't understand what Dave Roberts does, but there's a reason he gets paid to do what he does, and the reason that I'm sitting here on this side of the camera talking about Dodger baseball. So we'll be back with you tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55, as we are every weekday morning. So hang around, stick around for Travis and DeMarco here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, and we will talk to you mañana. See you then.